What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Movie Monday. Today I'm going to be talking about two more movies. I don't know why I'm doing two movies a week. It just kind of, I just started doing that, and it kind of gives me a reason to watch, two movies a week. I watch more, but I like to talk about just the two movies that I really, really want to talk about. So the first movie that I watched yesterday, actually, because I haven't seen it in forever, is Annihilation. This movie is messed up. Completely messed up, but in the best possible way. I regret not seeing this movie in theaters because it would have been absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it looks amazing on 4K, but I mean, nothing compares to seeing a movie in the movie theater. And this movie, it's just, this is one of those movies that completely stuck with me. It terrified me. It disgusted me. It made me think about, I don't even know, like, it made me think of, like, aliens and stuff. I mean, this movie, if you've never seen it, I mean, give it a watch. I mean, it's pretty freaking unreal, and it's just, it's from the same director. His name is Alex Garland, and he directed one of my other favorite movies, Ex Machina. I think Ex Machina has just a little bit more rewatch value than Annihilation. Annihilation is a pretty slow movie. When I was rewatching it yesterday, I realized just like it's not like boring in any way. It's just kind of like a slow burner in a way, and where it's almost like 2 hours too. Where Ex Machina is like an hour and 40. Ex Machina I think has more rewatch value than Annihilation. But they're two fantastic movies. If you haven't seen Ex Machina yet, you should definitely check that out too. But yeah, Annihilation, I mean, if you've already seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a messed up movie. So many scenes in that movie send shivers down my spine just because it's like, it's certain things that like I would never think of when I would be writing a screenplay. But when it happened, it was like so simple, but it like just was terrifying to me. Like, the movie's been out for a while, so I guess I can talk about just one little minor spoiler, I guess. The scene where it's like the mutated bear and it like rips people's vocal cords out, and it was like yelling, like the person that he ate, it was their vocal cords that he was projecting out of his mouth. And the first time that I watched that movie, I audibly shouted, "What the hell?" Because that messed me up. That was an insane scene. But yeah, anyway, Annihilation. Check it out. It's a great movie. The other one, I wasn't really planning on doing this one, but I was on a run today, and I was really thinking hard about this movie because it's a very it's an independent film. I think you guys might have heard of it. Avengers Endgame. As you can tell, I was joking, but I watched this last Tuesday when it came out on 4K, and that was my second time watching the movie. I watched it once in theaters. I don't know why I never watched it again in theaters. I just never really crossed my mind to. I loved it, but it never crossed my mind to go see it again in theaters. So I watched it again for the second time last week, and I gotta admit, I don't think it has as much rewatch value as the other Avengers movies. I think it's a great send-off to the 10 or 11 years that the MCU has been around for, ever since Iron Man back in 2008. And, when you watch it for the first time, it's a lot of fun because they go through the whole time travel thing and they're going back to previous movies that you've seen. But upon rewatch, I think those time travel scenes get a little boring to me. They do. And it just feels like there's not really much of a story in Endgame as much as the other Avengers movies. It just kind of feels like, I don't know, the whole time travel thing, the more I think about it, it just feels like, I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like they're going back to their other better movies, and it kind of tricks you into thinking that Endgame is like an amazing time travel movie, but it's really just kind of harking back to they're better films in the MCU. And thinking about it, I do think that, sad to say, I think Endgame is the weakest Avengers film. From the first Avengers film until Endgame, I think Endgame is, as far as storytelling goes, I don't think it has much of like an actual plot. It's just like just a bunch of time travel sequences, and then you get the portal scene at the end. And that's another thing. When I rewatched it, I found myself really only wanting to watch the portal scene at the very end of the movie and the whole battle with Thanos, and everybody comes through the portals, and it's a great third act. It really is. And it ends perfectly with Iron Man and Cap and everything. But I just, for a part of me wishes the first two acts of the movie were just better. I'm not gonna lie. I just think it's a little bit of a weak storytelling aspect. I think the Russo brothers, they didn't write it, so it's not their fault. I mean, they made a great looking film, but the screenwriters, I wish it had more of an actual storyline than just kind of going through time travel and harking back to the other MCU films that I enjoy more, probably, as an overall, more than Endgame. But, I mean, yeah, that's my only gripe with the film. It's still a really fun movie, but it's just a tad bit disappointing on rewatch, just because I'm, like, only wanting to see the end battle. I don't really give two shits about the first two acts anymore. I just want to see the ending battle, where the other Avengers films, I'm entertained throughout the entire runtime, and it has a story, and it has, and all that. And so yeah, wow, I've been rambling on for 7 minutes, but yeah, those are my two movies that I talked about on Movie Monday. Sorry if I'm a little not with it right now. For some reason, my my anxiety for some reason is getting to me a little today. But I just wanted to get this out. I don't really have much of a following, but I just, I wanted to start making these every Monday, and I want to make, commit to that. And so, yeah. So, yeah, hope you liked this episode. If you haven't seen Annihilation, check that out. If you haven't seen Endgame, where have you been the past couple months? But yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. Bye, guys.